Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Talk Clutter to Me. Today is a special episode because we are celebrating 1 year of the podcast. If you don't know how I started the podcast, I'm going to give you a brief history. I always had the idea for the podcast name, Talk Clutter to Me. I've always had this idea, but never had the time or knew how to do a podcast at all. And 1 year ago, I was at the Organizers Collective, and one of the speakers there, well, two, I guess, was Everything Envy. It is a mother-daughter duo that talked about Amazon affiliates, and they talked a little bit with me about their podcast. I told them, I've thought about a podcast, but I have the best name in the world. It's just, I don't know if I have time to do it, yada, yada. They're like, well, what's the name? And I told them, Talk Clutter to Me. And they're like, Amanda, you need to get on that right now. That is an amazing name. So 1 year later, I am now fully into this podcast. I am loving every second of it. So thank you so much to Margaret and Stetson. And thank you to Megan and Nikki, who started the Organizers Collective a couple years ago and has now helped me grow my business. So long story short, this episode is a very special episode, and it's kind of my thank you to them. One of the things to note, this is a special episode that I recorded when I was at the Organizers Collective this year, and I interviewed a bunch of organizers that were there. As my thank you, I wanted to create an episode that incorporated a ton of organizers, as many organizers as I could possibly get to. There was a lot of networking happening during downtime, so I didn't get to even a third of the people that were there, but it was really incredible to talk to so many people and really soak in everything that I learned at the Organizers Collective. So this episode is my thank you. You're going to hear information from other organizers, whether you are an organizer yourself wanting to learn about how to level up your own business, or you are your average person that is looking to calm the clutter that is taking over your life. There are tips in here on how to do that. I wanted to give you guys something a little bit more unique. And so apologies. There is a little bit of audio feedback problems here and there, but I really hope you enjoy the information given and enjoy.
I'm Christina with Two Tidy Tinas. My business partner is Matina.
Hi, I'm Kim Salisbury with Home Method Company.
I am Kate Condon, and I am the owner of Organize 65, which is named after the interstate that took me to Nashville.
I'm Rachel Simpson with Orderly Way. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama.
My name is Amy Frederickson. I am the owner of All About Organizing in Connecticut.
Dawn Sullivan, owner of Declutterize with Dawn.
Hi, I'm Evie with Lovin Spaces. I'm based out of Central Florida.
I'm Kim Melendez with Basketcase Organizing. I'm from Long Island, New York.
What is currently cluttering your life?
All the busy work. So we are actually in the process of getting one of our girls on our team to do more admin work because we just spend so much time doing all that busy back end stuff.
Literally not having enough minutes in the day. That is my biggest hurdle right now, is that there's not enough minutes in every day. It's mental clutter. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's just not feeling like there's enough minutes in the day.
I'm going to get deep, and mine is negative thoughts.
Ooh.
So, I'm really hard on myself. I'm hard on myself on how I am as a business owner and how I am as a leader with my team. But sometimes negative thoughts kind of take over my mind.
Ooh, just juggling small children in a business, probably.
The most impossible thing ever, right?
My to-do list.
Probably my vision and goals for the business and how am I going to bring them all to life and make it happen.
All that mental clutter.
A lot of mental clutter.
Yes.
A lot of times as professional organizers, we tend to think that we don't have clutter, but I think my nemesis and why I even really got into it in the first place was the paper clutter.
I would have to say in my own house, the shoemaker's kids don't always have shoes, and it's like a lot of paper clutter. The paper clutter is real. I got a kid going to college, all the stuff coming in, and
There's a lot of mail coming in once going off to college. What is something that you do to level up your business throughout the year?
So we're always referring back to our goals. So we kind of do quarterly goal check-ins. We are trying to build our team out. We're always thinking about how do we market, how do we increase brand awareness, all those things.
Throughout the year, well, we're in constant growth mode, especially this year. We've just expanded into the Silicon Valley. So during the year, I'm bringing on more organizers. I am training more leads. I have doubled my leads in the last year. So that's been really nice as far as my lead organizers. And so we're leveling. It's really right now we're just in a growth. We're in a growth right now. We're in a growth period. So I've built a whole new team. So in the Bay Area as well as in Sacramento.
Instagram is one where I try to find fun things that I do on there, like try to stay active in stories and interact with people back and forth. I'm really good about wanting to connect in DMs and stuff like that. So I think that's helpful because when you have people who say how they found you, a lot of people say on Instagram. So that's my way of communicating. Things like this.
The OC retreat.
Hang out with other organizers.
I choose to focus on one major thing at a time. Like I focus on one goal and then just get it done and make sure it's running smoothly before I move on to the next one.
Invest in myself and invest in courses and coaching, and my next level up will be hiring some. Well, right now I'm in the process of bringing on some team members. And so when I'm taken out of the retreat, and a lot of information that I got from a lot of peers was about the training and kind of getting them more onboarded.
Network events like this here, the Organizers Collective, I mean, is obviously the premier event to do.
What is your number one organizing rule?
I think labels. I think people don't realize how important labels are. So label all the things, even if you think you don't need it. Go ahead and label it.
Slap a label on that.
Yeah.
I think you have to start small. I'm sure a lot of people say that, but one drawer, one cabinet, one closet, it's the act of organizing is so overwhelming to so many people that when you look at your entire house, it's just too much. And you have to start small. You just start with one space and then you build from there.
For me, it comes back to everything has to have a home.
Okay.
That doesn't mean you always have to put it back there immediately, but you know that when it is time to pick up, everything has a home.
It's not really about just getting rid of things. If you think organizers are coming in there to just like, you don't need stuff. Like you can have stuff. You just need a place for your things.
You need a place, right?
So having like a separate hamper or some sort of bin in their closet, like lined with a trash bag for like the quick donation drop. So yeah, because we all have those moments where we're like try on a shirt and we're like, ooh, no, and then like just throw it back in the closet. And rather than throwing it in the closet, why not throw it in the bin and make a quick decision to get rid of it?
Purge. Just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Purge for all purge.
Yep. Thank you. Hey, everybody, real quick. She is also in BNI. I am BNI. So if you are in her area, please reach out to her.
Yes.
We're going to call this a referral.
Use a good basket. I mean, one of my favorites is the water hyacinth basket. A lot of people don't see the benefit of containment and just using a container. It doesn't even have to be a specific container. You could use boxes in your home. You could use anything. Just create systems within those boxes and you should be on your way.
Just pick one little area and go through that and sort through, declutter. I'm no minimalist. I like stuff. I like to decorate. So I'm not telling you to get rid of your stuff, but just go through in small batches.
How amazing was all of that information? There was just an incredible amount of information that for somebody who does not hear these things every single day, it can be really overwhelming. But really go back, re-listen to or rewatch this episode of Talk Clutter to Me and soak in the information. Know that you're not the only one with clutter. All of us have clutter. All of us are constantly working to level up our businesses and ourselves. And all of us can take in all these little tips that we were given and apply them to our own personal lives. I was thinking about one of the tips that was said of start small. And, I have a lot of mental clutter, but that's literally where I need to start is start small. What is something I can do that is a small task to start to tackle my mental clutter? And so that has been really, really helpful for me already. Is like, as I was editing this podcast episode, I heard that and it really resonated immediately with me. So Thank you so much for that amazing tip. As always, please like and follow and subscribe to this podcast. All of your guys' engagement with the podcast episodes, either here on Spotify or on Apple Podcast or on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast, really helps me grow the podcast even further. Share it with a friend who you think would like to listen to me talk for 30 to 45 minutes on end about organizing, because this is why I'm here. I just get to talk for 30 to 45 minutes about something I love, which is organizing, which is the nerdiest thing in the world, but I love doing it. If you, hint, hint, have been on this podcast, or you really enjoy this podcast enough to where you subscribed, because I've got some subscribers on here, please leave me a review and write some wonderful words about what you've found from the podcast, why you enjoy the podcast, and that information will help other people and will help grow the podcast to become something that I hope it to be, which is a community of people that can come together understanding that everybody has clutter, and we're going to break that Instagram perfect cycle of it just appears like this and it's always like this, because that's not the reality of organizing. And the only way we're going to get there is to break down some of these barriers that make it feel impossible. And that's why I'm here. So thank you for listening and hearing me ramble again. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.